From translation, TLB, the Living Bible. This 21 day of the year. Today we are reading passages Exodus 10 to 12. Exodus chapter 10, verses 1 to 29. Then the Lord said to Moses, I will bring one more plague upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. After that he will let you go. In fact, he will be so eager to get rid of you that he will actually force you to leave. I have done all this so that you can tell your children and grandchildren about my miracles, and about how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians, and about my miraculous signs among them. Then you will all know that I am the Lord. Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to him, The Lord God of the Hebrews says, How long will you refuse to submit to me? Let my people go, so they may worship me. If you refuse, tomorrow I will bring a locust swarm across your country. It will cover the ground so thickly that you won't be able to see the land. It will eat every plant that is growing in the fields, and all the fruit on the trees that the hail left. Nothing green will be left in your fields or in your gardens. Then your houses will be filled, and so will all the houses of your officials and the people of your land. Neither your fathers nor your grandfathers have ever seen such a locust plague as this before. But Pharaoh's officials said to him, How long will this man be a trap to us? Let the men go to worship the Lord their God. Don't you realize that Egypt is ruined? So Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh. Go and worship the Lord, he said, but just the men. That is all I will permit. That won't do, Moses replied. We must all go, our young and old alike. We must take our sons and daughters and our flocks and herds, because that is the time for the Lord's festival. Pharaoh said, I will let you take your little ones, but don't take your flocks and herds with you, because that is all you need to make your sacrifices. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart against them, and he would not let them go. Then the Lord said to Moses, Raise your hand over the land of Egypt to bring the locusts, and they will swarm across the country and devour everything that is growing. So Moses raised his hand over Egypt, and that day and night the Lord caused a powerful east wind to blow across the land. The wind blew all that day and night, and in the morning the locusts came in huge swarms. Never before had there been such a plague of locusts in all the land of Egypt, nor would there ever be again. They covered the ground until it was black. They ate all the plants in the fields, and all the fruit on the trees that had survived the hail. Not a green thing remained, nothing left growing on the trees or in the fields throughout all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh quickly sent for Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now please forgive my sin just this once, and pray to the Lord your God to take this death away from me. Moses left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. The Lord caused a strong west wind to blow, and it lifted the locusts off the land and blew them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust remained in all Egypt, but the Lord again hardened Pharaoh's heart against them, and he would not let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moses, Raise your hand toward the sky, and let darkness fall over the land of Egypt, a darkness so thick it can be felt. So Moses raised his hand toward the sky, and a deep darkness covered the entire land of Egypt for 3 days. No one could see anyone else, and no one could leave his house for 3 days. But there was light as usual in the homes of the Israelites where they lived. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and said, Go, worship the Lord. Take your little ones with you, but leave your flocks and herds here. No, Moses replied. You must let us take our animals with us to offer them as sacrifices to the Lord our God. Until we get there, we won't know what animals are needed to worship the Lord. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart against them, and he refused to let them go. Pharaoh said to Moses, Get away from me. Don't ever come back to see me again. The moment you do, you will die. Very well, Moses answered. I will never see you again. Exodus chapter 11, verses 1 to 10. Now the Lord said to Moses, I will bring one more plague upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. After that, he will let you leave here. When he does, he will be so eager to get rid of you that he will actually force you to go. So tell all the people of Israel, Ask your neighbors for their silver and gold jewelry. The Lord made the Egyptians look on the Israelites with great favor, and Moses became very famous throughout Egypt and in the land of Canaan. So Moses said to Pharaoh, This is what the Lord says. About midnight I will go throughout the land of Egypt. Every firstborn son in Egypt will die, from the firstborn son of Pharaoh, who sits on the throne, to the firstborn son of the servant girl grinding grain at the mill. Also, all the firstborn of the animals will die. There will be a great cry of anguish such as has never been heard before in all the land of Egypt. But among the Israelites, not even a dog will bark. In fact, I will make a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites. Then all your people will know that I am the Lord, as I display my judgment against you. Moses went out from Pharaoh in great anger. But the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you. Then my wonders will multiply in the land of Egypt. However, Moses and Aaron performed all the miracles the Lord had commanded them, and yet Pharaoh would not listen to them, just as the Lord had said. Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 51. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in Egypt, "This month is to be the first month of your year. Renumber your calendar from this month. Announce to all the community of Israel that on the 10th day of this month each family must get a lamb or a young goat for a sacrifice. If a family is too small for a whole lamb, let them share one with a neighbor nearby, in proportion to the number of people. You may combine several smaller families into one lamb if necessary. The animal you select must be a 1-year-old male, either a sheep or a goat, without any defect. Then, on the evening of the 14th day of the month, the whole assembly of the community of Israel must slaughter their lambs. They are to take some of the blood and put it on the sides and top of the doorframes of the houses where they eat the lambs. That night everyone must roast the lamb over a fire and eat it with bitter herbs and bread made without yeast. Do not eat the meat raw or boiled in water, but roast it over a fire, with the head, legs, and inner organs intact. Do not leave any of it until morning. If some is left over until morning, burn it. This is how you are to eat it. With your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in a hurry, it is the Lord's Passover. On that night I will pass through the land of Egypt and attack all the firstborn in the land, both men and animals, and I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. The blood on your doorposts will be a sign to mark the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. This plague of death will not touch you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day will be a day of remembrance for you. You will celebrate it as a festival to the Lord. For all generations to come you will celebrate it as a festival day. For 7 days you are to eat bread made without yeast. On the first day remove all yeast from your homes, for if anyone eats bread made with yeast from the 1st to the 7th day, that person will be cut off from Israel. On the 1st day and the 7th day of the festival, you are to have a day of complete rest. No work should be done on those days, except for preparing food for everyone to eat. That is all you may do. Celebrate this festival of unleavened bread, for it was on this very day that I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. You must keep this day from generation to generation. The festival will begin on the evening of the 14th day of the month, and it will continue until the evening of the 21st day. For 7 days, no yeast is to be found in your homes. Anyone who eats anything with yeast in it during this time will be cut off from the community of Israel, whether a foreigner or a native-born Israelite. Eat nothing made with yeast. Wherever you live, eat only bread made without yeast. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go and select a lamb for your families, and slaughter the Passover lamb. Take a bundle of hyssop branches and dip it into the blood that is in the bowl, and brush the blood on the top and sides of the doorframes of the houses where the lamb will be eaten. That night the Lord will pass through the land to strike down the Egyptians. When he sees the blood on the doorframes, he will pass over your homes. He will not permit his death angel to enter your houses and strike you down. You must obey this ceremony as a permanent law for you and your descendants. When you enter the land the Lord will give you as he promised, you will continue to celebrate this festival. Then your children will ask you, 'What does this ceremony mean?' And you will reply, 'It is the Passover sacrifice to the Lord, for he passed over the homes of the Israelites in Egypt when he struck down the Egyptians but spared our homes.' Then all the people bowed their heads and worshipped the Lord. The Israelites did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. And at midnight the Lord killed all the firstborn sons in Egypt, from the firstborn son of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn son of the prisoner in the dungeon. Even the firstborn of all the animals were killed. Pharaoh and his officials and all the people of Egypt got up during the night, and there was loud wailing in Egypt, for there was not a single home without someone dead. During the night Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron and said, 'Get out, leave my people at once. Go and worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks and herds as you said and go, and also pray for me.' The Egyptians urged the people to get out of the land quickly, for they said, 'We will all be dead.' So the people took their dough before it was leavened, and carried it on their shoulders in kneading troughs wrapped in their cloaks. The Israelites did as Moses had told them. They asked the Egyptians for clothing, and for articles of silver and gold. The Lord had made the Egyptians look favorably on the Israelites, and they gave them whatever they asked for. So they stripped the Egyptians of their wealth. The Israelites traveled from Ramesses to Sukkot. There were about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. They also took great numbers of flocks and herds, both their own and what they had gotten from the Egyptians. With the dough they had brought from Egypt, they baked cakes of unleavened bread. The dough was not leavened, because they were driven out of Egypt and didn't have time to prepare food for themselves. The time the people of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's forces left Egypt. This night in Egypt is to be kept from generation to generation as a festival to the Lord. It is the night when the Lord's forces left Egypt. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, These are the instructions for the festival of Passover. No outsider is to eat the Passover meal. But any slave you have bought may eat it if you have circumcised him first. A temporary resident and a hired servant may not eat it. It must be eaten in one house. You are not to carry any of the meat outside the house. And do not break any of the bones of the lamb. The whole community of Israel must celebrate this Passover festival. If a foreigner is living with you and wants to celebrate the Passover to the Lord, all the males in his household must first be circumcised. Then he may participate, just like the native-born Israelites, but no uncircumcised male may eat the Passover meal. The same laws apply both to the native-born and to the foreigners living among you. So all the Israelites did exactly as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. On that very day, the Lord brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt by their tribes.